In this video, I'll show you several different ways to set up a dimmer or how to dim the screen in the evening and bring it back up to full brightness during the daytime on your new Pioneer NEX in-dash receiver. Please note, this video applies to the Pioneer DMH-WT 8600 NEX, the DMH-WT 7600 NEX and 76 NEX, the DMH-WC 6600 NEX, and the DMH-W 4660 NEX and 4600 NEX. So the dimmer is the brightness of this screen. In the evening, you might want to dim the screen so it's easier to see and drive, and in the daytime, you might want to bring that brightness up so it's brighter and easier to see. So that's the dimmer setting. The dimmer on means the brightness is lower. The dimmer off means the brightness comes up. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can switch the dimmer on or off depending on how you like to operate the system. So let's touch the gears up here, and under the gears we're going to go to the toolbox, and let's scroll down in the toolbox here to the dimmer settings. When we open the dimmer settings, there is the dimmer trigger, and let's open the dimmer trigger. So the dimmer trigger gives us three different options. There's auto and there's time. Auto means automatic based on the headlights, and we'll talk about that one in a moment, and you have to have the wiring correctly set up in the vehicle for that to operate. You also have the time of day where the dimmer can switch on and off, and we'll get to that one in a couple of minutes as well. We're going to start off with the manual setting. So the manual setting is right here, day and night. You can see right now it's on day. If we touch that, that switches it to night, and you can see the brightness of the screen lowering for when the dimmer switches on for its nighttime setting. Touch that again, and the dimmer is switched off, and you can see the brightness come back up. Now, this is buried down in a couple of menus, and maybe I don't want to get digging those menus like that all the time to switch this dimmer on and off. I can just touch the star right here and put a star, make that one of my favorites. So that's day and night setting is now in my favorites. I'm going to hit the X up here. And now when I touch my settings, there is my day and night setting for the dimmer. I can switch the dimmer on right there, and I can switch the dimmer off right there. So if you like that manual setting, that's an easy way to do that, is to put the day-night setting in your favorites. Another way that we can switch the dimmer on and off manually is to put it in the shortcut bar up here. So if I touch and hold the shortcut bar for a couple of seconds, that opens up options for me to put things into the shortcut bar or take them back out. So for right now, I'm going to take this source off shortcut out and drag it down here. That leaves some open space up here. I'll drag over this way, and look, there's my dimmer setting. I'll just touch that one and drag it up here. When I'm done making my adjustments, I can hit the X. And now, right on my home screen, I have the dimmer on-off setting right there. From my home screen, I can also drag over here, and there's the dimmer setting on my source selection screen. I can choose that at any time if I want. Touch that, that switches the dimmer on. And touch it again to switch the dimmer off. Now let's go back into the settings and check a couple of the automatic settings to make the dimmer switch on and off. We'll touch the gears, and under the gears we want to go to the toolbox and scroll down here to the dimmer settings. Under the dimmer settings, we're going to switch the trigger from manual to auto. Now, with the trigger set to auto, that means when the vehicle's headlights are switched on, the dimmer automatically switches on. And when the vehicle headlights are switched off, the dimmer automatically switches off. This is great if you have a manual on-off switch on your headlights. If your vehicle runs with the daytime running lamps and the headlights are on all the time, this may not be a good option for you, and one of the other options may be a better way to go. So I'll hit the X. And now I'm going to switch on the vehicle's headlights. With the headlights switched on, you can see the dimmer coming into effect and dimming the screen. And now I'll switch the headlights off. And with the headlights switched off, you can see the brightness of the screen coming back up. That works automatically if the orange wire with the white stripe on the in-dash receiver is wired correctly into the dash. Now there's one more setting. Let's go back into the settings. And we'll touch the gears again and scroll down to get to our dimmer settings. There's one more trigger here. Instead of auto, let's choose time. And under time, we need to go to dimmer duration. When I open dimmer duration, I have the option to set up a time of day that the dimmer automatically switches on and a time of day that the dimmer automatically switches off. So right now we can choose the time that the dimmer switches on. This is the time that the dimmer switches off. So here is at 8:45 p.m. and I can use the arrows here to change this for 15 minutes at a time. I can also just touch this and drag it to where I want to go. 5 p.m. is a pretty good time right now for the dimmer to switch on. And in the morning, right now it's set to 6 a.m. I'm going to make that 6:30, but I could drag that wherever I want it to go to, but I think I'm going to make it about 6:30 for right now. So that means from 5 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., the dimmer is going to be switched on. But if you drive during that time when the sun is down, the dimmer will be switched on, and then at 6:30 in the morning, if you're driving your vehicle, the dimmer will automatically switch off. When you're done making your adjustments there, you can just hit the X to escape.